Wait, go back. There's already one recorded for you.
Wait, there is? Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello, hi, subscribe. So I got a special guest today. I got my mom.
Hello.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do like a get ready with me, but instead of getting ready with me, we're gonna get ready with my mom. And by get ready with my mom, I'm gonna be doing her makeup. And we're going to talk. I know a lot of people have like questions when it comes to parents reacting to their queer kids coming out and like what it's like raising them prior to them coming out and everything. So that's what we're going to do. So yeah. So while I'm getting my makeup ready, do you want to give the introduction about yourself, like where you're from and everything?
So my name's Khristian. I am from Utah. I grew up in a very small town, and then I went off to school to Hawaii and met my husband. That is why Khristian is so exotic looking, because she's half Samoan. And I have 3 other children besides Khristian, and I am a kindergarten teacher. And that's about it.
If you ever come to Utah, our last name is very big, and it's because Mrs. Toelupe. I mean, there's like 3 other Mrs. Toelupes throughout the U.S., but also just a review if you aren't an OG to my channel. When I do my get ready with me's, I don't mention any of the products that I'm using. I just do the makeup while I do my storytelling. My next video, that will be makeup video, I will mention the products. But what did you notice in me versus like the other kids while I was growing up?
Well, you were my oldest, so you just came and I had nothing to compare you to. It honestly wasn't until Gabe came along that I was like, oh, this is what a typical boy does. Am I putting my hair up?
Sorry.
Because Micah and you were so out of the box when it came to like gender roles. Okay, what am I doing?
I'm just putting on your foundation.
So am I just sitting here?
And talking here.
Oh, okay. When you were little, like when you were 3, you would sit and put blankets on. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I make little dresses and like little wigs for myself.
And so I even remember asking your pediatrician about it, like, what do you make of this? And he said, oh, it's not that big of a deal, kids explore. And he said, try to find, I don't even know what to say with your pronouns when you were little, because you were presenting as him. So like,
yeah, he, him. I refer to myself like that. Okay, but like when I was a young man in Elders Quorum,
okay.
Yeah. So I was in the Boy Scouts because I did Boy Scouts.
Yes, you did. So anyways, I asked the pediatrician about it. He said, just get him at the time some manly movies and see, what characters he resonates, with, because you used to just pretend like you were the Little Mermaid all the time. And so I got you. That was you. You loved the rock part.
The what?
Or she'd like go up on the rock. You would always pretend you were doing that part. Part of the world. Oh yeah, part of my world. Yeah. So anywhosies, I got you Toy Story. And then I got you some Buzz Lightyear toys and some Woody toys, because you used to like to pretend like you were Little Bo Peep from that movie. Then I got you Sword in the Stone, another movie with lots of boy characters. And I got you a sword, and I got you like a Merlin, I don't know, thingy-majigger-mabob. And you loved Madam Mim. You'd pretend like you were Madam Mim. You acted out every movie. You never just sat and watched a movie. You acted out every movie you watched, and you always would pretend like you were the girl character. So the sword I got you and that little Merlin thing, like I saw you watching Toy Story and you had your little dresses on from your blinkies. You were using the sword as like your staff, and you were pretending like you were like on the arm of
Woody.
Woody. So yeah, that's what it was like growing up with you.
Back in the day, how did you react when other people would react to me?
I think I felt pretty defensive, and it was just always frustrating anyway, because I always felt like you loved playing with little girls, and if they played with your trucks and things, then oh my gosh, I look really white.
I'm gonna put some contour on and stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, as long as I look as beautiful as you.
Oh. Well, you had me, so.
What were we talking about? So anyways, so you would play with little girls, and if they played with your cars or your tractor, everyone was like, oh, look, she's so tough. But if you played with their Barbies and things, everyone would always tease you. And so it always made me feel frustrated because I always felt, I mean, at the time I thought you were cisgender, so it just frustrated me that little boys were always put into such a box, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where I thought it was at first, not knowing that you were transgender.
Yeah. Yeah, because I honestly didn't learn the word transgender until I was 16. Wait, 16 or 17? Was I 16? How old are you when you were in 11th grade? Because it was like 11, 12th grade that I came out to CC as trans. Well, I didn't like say it. Like, she was like, do you think your spirit's a girl? And she's like, do you think you were a girl back in heaven? I was like, I think so. And then she was like, okay.
Yeah.
And we just left it at that.
I remember you came into my classroom when you were getting ready for your mission, and one of the little boys said to me, Mrs. Toelupe, is Khristian a boy or a girl? Because you had a boy haircut and you had on boy clothes, but your characteristics were so feminine and your voice was feminine and the way you carried yourself was so feminine. He honestly was not throwing shade at all. He honestly was just genuinely questioning.
Know what to refer to me as.
Yeah, just kind of like just wondering. Like he just really was coming from a place of wonderment, not a place of judgment or anything.
When was like your first like encounter with the queer community? Like what was your knowledge prior to having me about the queer community?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I grew up in the 80s during like the AIDS crisis. That maybe was the first time I had heard of like being gay was when it was like, you know, affecting the gay community that way. Just growing up in a small town. And there were whisperings of certain people being gay within the community. There's a huge soap opera star from up home, Tony Geary. He was on General Hospital. Like, he's my cousin.
Oh.
So that you would hear things there. But I don't know, like growing up, Grandma took me to see Birdcage when I was younger.
Oh.
And
that seems like a grandma thing to do.
So we went and saw that.
My grandma was very, would you say eccentric or how would you say it? My grandma was just very wild. Like imagine like, there's a video of her and, I think, is that her and Grandma Linda? They're like, they went on a vacation, they're like so just imagine a bunch of old ladies jumping on a bed going like, 5 little monkeys jump. That was my grandma.
She's just very kind and open. And you know, you'd watch daytime shows and see RuPaul. But I don't know, I think I probably got more interested in it just with you and Micah growing up, knowing that you two were very different and not really knowing what it was, but just trying to be open to
what it could be.
Yeah.
So when did you learn about like transgender people? Because I didn't learn until Caitlyn Jenner's story. Like I had no idea.
My friend growing up, her stepdad liked to dress in women's clothes. And maybe he just liked to dress in women's clothes, but I just think, I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know anything about being transgender. I don't know if he or she is. I don't know. But like, that's the first time I'd heard of like anything like that. But then when I thought you were gay and Micah was gay, I went to a conference, affirmations conference for...
When was this?
This was when you were on your mission.
Oh.
So like I had reached out to try to find a community for us just because I felt so alone in being a Mormon mom with what I thought was 2 gay kids at the time.
Just kidding. Got a gay son and a trans daughter.
So I found this group called Affirmations. It was a support group for LDS families with LGBTQ people in their families and for the LGBTQ people themselves. And so the first night they had a trans night where they had a panel of transgender people, and it was the first time like I'd heard of like gender dysphoria and things. Like my heart just went out, like talking about going past a mirror and wanting to cut off body parts. Like I'd never, like it was so outside of my experience. That was the first time I'd heard of it. And I don't know, like I started putting pieces together about you, like, oh, maybe I wonder if that's more Christian than being gay. Like, because when you were little or in high school, you would sit and go like this, like it was your hair. Like, so I don't know, just like little glimmers of that. So that was the first time I was introduced to the trans community. And then just, you know, with Mama Dragons, I'm trying to support trans kids. And when Micah would go to activities, then there would be just all sorts of LGBTQ kids there. And you just learn to love all of these awesome, amazing kids. So I, you know, got to know some transgender teenagers and their families, and they were just really cool people.
So you kind of learned about it as I was reading about it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because like I legit did not know what transgender was until Caitlyn Jenner's story came out. And then I remember watching like an interview before I went on my mission of her talking. And she was talking about...
Did she go before your mission?
Yeah, I was a senior in high school.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember there's some people that had some stuff to say about it on Facebook. And that was like back when I was like really like, Facebook. And like now I'm very Instagram. One of my friends back in high school, he shared her story on his Facebook. And what he was trying to say, he was like, we need to respect all of God's creations because you know how he is. He's very like, sweet Jesus, 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 Jesus. You know, that's just how he is.
Yeah.
He was talking about like how brave she was to share her story and blah, 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 blah. And then someone from my high school who didn't have a very good reputation for himself, like it was him that made this comment. The comment was like, oh, he's just trying to say that he's well so he can get into locker rooms like stir up women and stuff. And I was like, not everyone's like you. That's like, that's not what that is.
Yeah.
And it's hard because like a lot of people like don't know what my experience is like or like people's experiences like mine are like because it's like, it's kind of different for them to like try to imagine that. So like I can see from his perspective about like everything that he's done in his past, like why he would think that, but like in my situation it's like, how could you take 20 years of suffering and like my body and like be like, you just want to see women naked. I'm not that attracted to women, so that's not what that is.
That's just silliness.
So while I was coming home, what?
You were literally yelling in my ear. Sal!
Sorry. So as I was coming home off my mission while I was home after like you had met some other trans people.
Oh. What was I thinking about you?
Yeah, because I remember you asked me several times and I denied it several times.
Yeah. I don't know, I just wondered just because I just want to deal with the truth. Like it's just, I don't know, it's just weird like people not living their truths. Do you know what I mean? And so I didn't want you to feel like you had to hide anything. And I just wanted you to be the best you. And I just wanted to support you in the right way. So I don't know, probably shouldn't have pressed you about it.
No, it was good because like, I honestly like from my mission and stuff, well, that's not the color I want. Because like while I was on my mission and stuff, like just being forced into like the elder label, being expected to act a certain way. I mean, I touched this on my video while I was serving my mission, but like all that forced me back into the closet. Like I started learning or like coming into terms with who I was back in high school, and had I not gone on my mission, I would have come out sooner instead of coming out as gay on Facebook like I did. But then I would have never served my mission.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to. Huh?
Are you glad you did?
I am, yeah. Like, if I could redo it all over again and if the rules were different, I would serve like as a sister.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, they're like experiences that like I had on my mission that like you just can't get anywhere else. Like my first investigator, like she went through something similar that like I did, so it's like it was crazy like that connection.
Yeah.
That was like not only was like she like coming closer to God, but like she was like reconciling with all of that. Which is also kind of like how I reconcile with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Knowing that like sucky things happen and like you know.
You can get past it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I told you this before, like I just think you're so strong that you were able to do that, because that would have been hard, being around elders all the time and
mesh garments 24/7. Alex Toelupe, come wrestle.
Yeah, that would have been
I was offered like stuff. They're like, why don't you just wrestle with us? It's so much fun. And I'm like, I'm sure it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No thanks. How did you react to me when I finally came out as trans last year?
But my first reaction was just to love and support you. But I still was surprised that like it was that there was a part of it that was hard, because I just had been around families that had trans people in their family. So I just, what's your child's new name? What are their pronouns? Okay. You just, ready to jump in and support. But like there's kind of a process that like you have to mourn the child that you thought was there, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
But honestly, just doing that in private, so that for you, all that you felt was love and support.
I think that's good advice for like all trans people and all like parents of trans people, because like I feel like a lot of trans people, especially like they want people to already get it, so then they're like, they get super defensive and like really mean.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I don't get why they just don't get it. But it's like, especially with me growing up, especially just like growing up in the church, like I was too afraid to like say like, at the time, because I remember when I first came out to you as bi, that you asked me if there was anything more than just that, and I was like, there is, but I'm afraid to say. But like, although like being attracted to men, there's a little something more, so it's like, I don't know, I feel like both sides need to cut each other a break. Because it's like, as I'm transitioning, I know like you guys are transitioning with me, like you've gotten like really good with my pronouns and stuff, and like, so as Mike and Gabriel, I'm like kind of starting to catch on. Dad's working on it.
Dad does better when you're not here, oddly enough.
Really?
Yes. He does way better when you're not here for some reason. You get here and then I don't know if he gets nervous or what. But you're so good to just, like if people are trying, you're good about cutting them slack.
You transphobe.
Yeah. But that's not to say that we don't need to apologize, because if we do say your pronouns wrong, we need to apologize and correct ourselves.
Yeah. I think that's important for both sides to get.
Yeah. Everyone's trying. Do it.
Yeah, do it.
I've only used that once.
This full palette?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
It has such good colors though.
I don't know. I just don't know what to do with it.
Maybe I'll do a makeup tutorial using this palette and then you can watch it. Because remember like when you're talking to other people and they're like, make sure you let Chris know that like she shouldn't like be so like angry all the time, because I just met trans people that are always angry, and it's like, well, for one, stop misgendering them, but also to like, not everyone's the same.
Well, yeah, and you need to be okay with the anger too, because some people do feel anger, so everyone deals with it in a different way. And I think people want to feel validated. When they don't feel validated, they feel angry, right?
Yeah, and especially when it goes on for so long. Like I think when you first come out, give it some time, give people time to like practice and stuff, but like don't be so like, you know, like had I just given you guys like a whole week or like a day to be like, okay, these are my new pronouns, you better get it, then we wouldn't have the relationship that we do, kind of. I don't know, I think it would be a lot different. I think there would be like some tension every time.
I think both sides just need to keep trying and keep doing their best, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just open communication, I find, is the key to everything, really. Because remember, like that first, when you first came out, we kind of had a moment right there in that bathroom.
Well, when you said when you first came out, I was like, which time? Bye now, gay later. Take care, trans.
But I think like sometimes we tell ourselves stories like that certain people's behavior
means one thing when it's really not.
Yeah. And so, you know, so when Khristian first came out, she came home the first weekend, right? Because we were kind of talking over the phone, right?
Yeah. Was it the first weekend or was it like another weekend? Because I think it was because like the first time I remember coming home, I just felt exhausted and defeated. And like I was also very kind of embarrassed, but also like scared, because like it was my first time being home as me. Like it was the first time like this is truly who Khristian is. So it was like very scary for me. So like I walked through the door and like I saw it, I was just like, like just shaking. Because I was just like, I don't know what to do.
And I think we were scared too, but I saw you and I'm like, it's still Khristian. And so we just hugged, remember, and cried. So then I don't know, like as the weekend progressed, I think you were wanting to feel support, right?
Yeah.
And so you're wanting me to help you with the doctor, and you're wanting me to help with insurance. And I'm remembering what it was like when you and Micah first came out, and just how much work it was to like get a community around you two. And I would do it again, but as a mom, like I lost myself. Like I ran myself into the ground trying to like save you two, to be honest, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I was from a place of like exhaustion. Like do I have it in me to do this again? I'll do it again. I'll run myself into the ground again for my kids. I'll do it. But I also wanted you to take responsibility and to do some of the work as well. Yeah. And so I think you were asking me to do these things because you wanted my support, and you had my support. And then I was taking you, asking me to do these things that you wanted me to do it all, and that you weren't caring about my self-care, when that wasn't it at all, right?
Yeah.
You wanted support, and I didn't want to lose myself in supporting. I wanted to
Yeah.
So anyways. But really, it's open communication. Like once we talked about it and talked it through,
It was fine.
We were fine.
Open communication is very key.
Yeah.
How did you react, like, when I finally got my transgender appointment and when you went with me, like, when she was talking about everything?
I was excited about that day.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, because I'd already been part of Mama Dragons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I just got online with them, like, okay. I was worried we weren't going to have a community, but I'm like, we already had this community, right? We had Mama Dragons, we had I'll Walk With You, we had affirmations, we already had this huge support system in place. And so just calling on those people that had transgender kids, like they said, you know what, you need to go to this doctor, you need to do this. And I found the more open we are about our story, the more open people are to us. So like talking to my hairdresser and saying, hey, I have a trans daughter, help me, how do I help her with her hair? How do I?
Oh, so you did mention that I was trans?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's cool.
I think just reaching out and asking people for help, because there's other people that have been through the same situation. And even if they haven't, like that hairdresser, she knows about hair and was willing to help. And so the more we reach out and are vulnerable and share our stories, the more people reach out back to us. Mm-hmm. I think if you're closed off, then people are closed off to you. And it's hard, it's scary to put yourself out there. But I found like most people have been really cool about it. And there's those that haven't, and that's okay too.
That's okay too.
That's on them, not on us. I just think it's so outside anyone's experience. But I think you just have to look at it as like, I can't imagine what it'd be like if, like, because I feel like a woman, right? And I don't have to look at myself to know I'm a woman. I feel like a woman. And so trying to think like, what would it be like if I know I'm a woman, I'm walking around feeling like a woman and people are calling me sir. When I look in the mirror, I see a man. Like, I don't
know what that feels like.
Yeah. But I think that's how you, like, as a cisgender person, you kind of try to gain empathy because it's so outside of your experience.
Like, the more people that were more familiar with the queer community, like, they understood it more. Like, if they had gay friends or if they had specifically trans friends, like, they understood my experience better versus those that didn't.
And really, even those that don't understand, as long as they lead with love and kindness, that's what matters.
Yeah. Not really good at doing other people's, but I'm good at doing my own. Don't close your eyes. I'll do this part off camera.
Ooh.
Ah.
No, I like it, Khristian. You did a good job.
Thank you. You should use that more often.
I really should.
So, this is the finished look. I hope y'all liked the makeup that we did together. We did a lot off camera, but I hope you all enjoyed us telling our stories, especially like from my mom's perspective about what it was like raising a trans daughter and stuff, the whole journey and everything. So I hope you all got something from it, and I hope this serves as a good guide for someone else, like other parents with queer kids or other like transgender kids that are struggling with who they are. I hope this helps you to see from a parent's perspective what it's like. Do you have any advice for like parents of queer kids?
I would just say reach out and find a support group. I remember just feeling so alone when I found out that I had 2 queer kids. And there are so many support groups that are out there willing to support you and to support your children. I remember the first time I went to a support group, just being able to talk openly about Micah and you was just so huge, and that they just had this love for my kids, that they knew exactly who my kids were and they loved my kids for who they were and they loved our family. That was huge. And I would just say to queer kids that there are a bunch of people out there that will support you, and so reach out also and just know that we see you and that we love you. And yeah, that's the biggest thing right there, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think the only thing that I would add on to that is like, if you, whatever part of the LGBT, like the spectrum you are, like whether you're gay, bi, lesbian, trans, non-binary, all the other queer stuff, if you don't come from a very supporting family, like oftentimes I feel bad for others because like my coming out was very easy for me. Like my mom paid for my first dose of hormones. I come home and then like I live around my pronouns and everything. But if you don't come from that, like these support groups, like you always have your chosen families that you can turn to and everything. Like, so say if like your mom and dad don't support you, my parents do.
keep reaching out to your families though with love and kindness. I think a lot of times you may feel you'd be worried about rejection, and so you reach out to others and maybe lead with that fear. The biggest thing that has led me is that there's no fear in love. That has been my mantra, that scripture, that there's no fear in love for. How does it go up to that? There's no fear in love for.
That's been the Bible or the Book of Mormon?
It's from the Bible. Go God.
Go God.
King James Version. All right, so this has been my mantra since finding out I had 2 queer kids. It's 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. And I think sometimes that goes for both the queer child and for the parent, that you're fearful the way people are going to treat your children. You're fearful the way your family is going to be perceived and received. And whenever I would feel that fear and that doubt, the scripture would come into my mind that there is no fear in love, and that I was just to love fiercely. And the more I loved fiercely and the more I reached out to others, the more others reached out to our family. And that's not to say it's been an easy road. We've had some hard things, but that's really led me, I think.
I like that. I think it's true, like love conquers all. Love wins. No sides, only love. I want to answer that one clip so bad.
I will kick your.
So I hope you enjoyed our message. Eventually I'll slowly get my other family members onto my channel, like my dad to share his side of the story. Micah,
Dad's makeup.
Dude, I actually had another idea. I mean, it'd be funny if I did his, but I have an idea. I'll tell you later. So if you like this video, give it a good thumbs up. Comment down below about anything else that you'd like to know, or if you also come from this kind of a situation. Talk about your experience down in the comment section, and then don't forget to subscribe so that you are updated on more content. And yeah, love you all.